Zara was a beautiful alien from the planet Volterra. Her people were tall, with smooth skin that shimmered under the light of their twin suns. They had been taught for generations that humans were ugly and strange. Zara had always believed this. When she heard that she would visit Earth for a diplomatic mission, she felt a mix of excitement and dread. She was curious about the humans, but she also feared what she might find. As Zara stepped off the spaceship, she felt the warm air of Earth on her skin. The bright colors of the flowers and trees amazed her, but as she looked around, she saw humans everywhere. They were short, with rough skin and odd features. Zara's heart sank. They looked nothing like the graceful beings of her planet. She felt a strong urge to turn back and return to the beauty of Volterra. Despite her feelings, Zara had a job to do. She was here to learn about humans and help create peace between their worlds. As she walked through the bustling city, she tried to keep an open mind. She watched humans laughing and talking. Some were helping each other, while others seemed lost in their own world. Zara noticed a group of children playing in a park, their faces filled with joy. For a moment, she felt a flicker of hope. Maybe not all humans were as ugly as she had been taught. But then she saw Alex. He was standing with a group of people, his back turned to her. Zara noticed how different he looked compared to the other humans. His hair was messy, and his clothes seemed old and worn. She could hear him laughing, but the sound did not please her. It felt loud and out of place. Zara frowned, thinking that he looked like a typical human, far from what she imagined anyone worthy of her respect would be. As Alex turned around, Zara's breath caught in her throat. He had bright blue eyes that sparkled with life. His smile was warm and genuine, but Zara quickly reminded herself of her beliefs. He is still just a human, she thought. Nothing special. She forced herself to look away, feeling her heart race. She didn't want to feel anything for a human. Zara was introduced to Alex later that day. He stepped forward, extending his hand to her. "Hi, I'm Alex," he said with a friendly smile. Zara hesitated. She knew what her people had taught her. Humans were beneath her. Yet something about his voice was different. It was soft and inviting. She reluctantly shook his hand, feeling the warmth of his skin against hers. "I am Zara," she replied coolly, trying to hide her surprise. As they talked, Alex asked her questions about Volterra. He seemed genuinely interested in her home. Zara found herself answering him, her voice steady but guarded. She wanted to pull back, to keep her distance, yet she could not help but notice how his eyes lit up when she spoke of her planet. "It sounds amazing," he said, leaning closer. "I wish I could see it one day." Zara felt a strange warmth in her chest. Why did his words affect her so? She quickly pushed the feeling away, reminding herself of her duty. "You would not like it," she said sharply. "Humans are not welcome there." Alex's smile faded for a moment, but he quickly recovered. "Maybe we can change that," he said with a hint of determination in his voice. "We can show your people that humans can be good." Zara felt a wave of frustration. How could he be so naive? Humans had a long history of conflict and misunderstanding. She wanted to tell him that he was wrong, but she paused. Instead, she said, "It is not so simple." The rest of the day passed in a blur of meetings and conversations. Zara struggled to focus on her mission. Every time she caught a glimpse of Alex, her heart raced. He was not like the others. There was something different about him, yet she couldn't shake off her ingrained beliefs. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the city, Zara sat alone on a bench in the park. She watched the humans around her, their laughter echoing in the air. The children were still playing, their joy infectious. For a moment, she allowed herself to relax. Then she saw Alex again. He was walking towards her, a look of curiosity on his face. Zara quickly stood, ready to walk away. But before she could, Alex called out to her, "Hey, are you okay?" Zara paused. His voice was filled with concern, and she felt a flicker of warmth. She hated that she was feeling this way. "I am fine," she replied sharply, but the words felt empty. Alex frowned, but then he smiled again. You know, not all humans are bad, just like not all aliens are perfect. Zara felt her heart skip a beat. He was right. She had judged him without truly knowing him. But could she let go of her hatred? As she looked into Alex's eyes, she realized that this was just the beginning. Her first impression of humans was slowly changing. Perhaps there was more to them than she had been taught. But the journey to understanding would be a long one, and Zara was not sure if she was ready to take that step. Learning about humans, Zara had only been on Earth for a few days, but it felt like she had been here for weeks. Each day brought new experiences and challenges. As she walked through the busy streets of the city with Alex, she was surprised by the variety of sights and sounds. The air was filled with laughter, music, and the chatter of people. It was all so different from the quiet beauty of her home planet, Volterra. One sunny afternoon, Alex invited Zora to a local market. "You have to see this," he said excitedly. Zara hesitated at first, thinking about the crowds and the noise. But she remembered how much Alex seemed to enjoy spending time with her, and she wanted to learn more about humans. So she agreed. As they entered the market, Zara was overwhelmed. The stalls were filled with colorful fruits, strange-looking vegetables, and bright flowers. The smells were a mix of sweet and savory, making her feel both curious and a little dizzy. Alex walked beside her, explaining everything they passed. "This is a mango," he said, holding up a golden fruit. "It's sweet and juicy. You'll love it." Zara looked at the mango with suspicion. She had never seen anything like it. "What does it taste like?" she asked. "You'll see. Just try it," Alex urged. He handed her the mango, and she hesitated for a moment before taking a small bite. The sweetness burst in her mouth, and she felt a smile spread across her face. "This is delicious," she exclaimed. Alex grinned, pleased that she liked it. "I knew you would." As they walked through the market, Zara began to notice the people around her. She saw a mother comforting her crying child, a group of friends laughing together, and an old man sharing stories with a young girl. These moments of kindness made her heart warm. Maybe humans were not as bad as she had thought. Later, they stopped at a stall selling handmade crafts. Zara admired the colorful items on display. "These are beautiful," she said, picking up a small painted box. "Do you make these?" "Some of us do," Alex replied. "Humans love to create. It's a way for us to express ourselves." Zora looked at him, intrigued. "What do you mean?" "Well, everyone has something special to share," he explained. "Artists paint, musicians play music, and writers tell stories. It helps us connect with each other." Zora thought about this. On Volterra, art was also important, but it was very different. The way humans expressed themselves seemed full of emotion and energy. She could feel the passion in their work, and it fascinated her. As the day went on, Zara and Alex visited a small park nearby. Children were playing, and people were relaxing on the grass. Zara sat on a bench, watching the world around her. She felt a sense of peace. For the first time, she realized that humans had their own beauty, even if it was different from hers. Alex joined her on the bench, looking thoughtful. "What do you think so far?" he asked. Zara hesitated, then replied, "It's different. I did not expect it to be like this." "Different how?" Alex pressed, his eyes curious. "I thought humans were just ugly and mean. But you're not like that. You care about others," she admitted, feeling vulnerable. Alex smiled softly. "Thanks, Zora. Not all humans are perfect, but we try our best. Just like any other species, we have our flaws." Zora nodded, thinking about what he said. "And you care about your friends and family." "Of course," Alex replied. "Family means everything to us." Zara felt a twinge of longing. On Volterra, family was also important. She missed her home, but was starting to find a place here too. As they continued to talk, Zara shared stories about her life on Volterra. She described the twin suns, the floating gardens, and the festivals filled with music and dance. Alex listened intently, his eyes wide with wonder. "That sounds amazing. I wish I could see it," he said, his voice full of excitement. Zara felt a surge of pride as she talked about her home. "It is beautiful, but you would not be accepted there. My people do not trust humans." "That's what we need to change," Alex replied firmly. "We need to show them that we can get along." Zara felt a spark of hope. Maybe Alex was right. Perhaps there was a way to bridge the gap between their worlds. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, Zara and Alex walked back to the city. Zara realized she had learned so much about humans in just one day. They were not the ugly creatures she had been told about. Instead, they were complex and capable of love, kindness, and creativity. She looked at Alex, feeling a bond forming between them. She knew she was starting to change her views, and it felt both exciting and scary. But one thing was clear: she wanted to learn more. She wanted to understand humans better, starting with Alex. As they reached the end of the day, Zara smiled. "Thank you for today. I learned a lot." "I'm glad," Alex replied, his smile brightening her heart. "I can't wait to show you more." Zara felt a warmth in her chest. She had taken her first steps toward understanding humans, and it felt good. She looked forward to the days ahead, ready to discover the beauty of Earth and the truth about its people. Trouble begins. Zara had begun to feel comfortable on Earth. She was learning more about humans every day, and her friendship with Alex was growing. They shared laughter, stories, and dreams of a better future for both their worlds. However, everything changed one fateful afternoon. It was a sunny day when Zara and Alex received news that shook them to their core. A group of aliens from another planet had arrived on Earth, causing chaos and fear. They were not like Zara. These aliens were aggressive and did not care about peace. They demanded power and control, threatening the humans. Zara felt a wave of panic wash over her. She knew that her people had worked hard to build a friendship with humans. Now, everything was at risk. "We have to do something," she said to Alex, her voice trembling with urgency. "You're right," Alex replied, his expression serious. "But what can we do?" Zara thought quickly. "We need to warn my people about these invaders. They cannot think all aliens are like this." "But how can we do that?" Alex asked. He looked worried. "What if they don't listen?" Zara bit her lip, unsure of the answer. She knew that fear often clouded judgment. "We have to try. We can show them the truth." As they rushed to gather information, the streets filled with tension. People were frightened, and many stayed indoors. News of the aggressive aliens spread like wildfire. Zara watched as humans and aliens stood on opposite sides, each group filled with fear and anger. The peace they had worked for seemed to slip away. Later that day, Zara and Alex attended a meeting in the city hall. Many leaders had gathered to discuss the situation. Zara felt nervous as she entered the large room. The air was thick with anxiety. She took a deep breath and stood beside Alex, ready to speak. The mayor began to address the crowd. "We need to protect our city from these invaders. We cannot trust any alien. They are all dangerous." His words were harsh and filled with fear. Zara's heart sank. This was not the message they needed. Alex stepped forward, courage in his eyes. "Wait, not all aliens are like the ones attacking us. We can't let fear guide us." His voice was strong, but the crowd was restless. Zara felt a surge of pride at Alex's bravery. "You don't understand," a woman in the crowd shouted. "They are here to take our homes. We need to fight back." Zara raised her hand, trying to speak. "Please, I am an alien and I am here for peace. My people want to help, but we must work together." Her voice trembled, but she held her ground. The mayor looked at her, skepticism written on his face. "How do we know you're not like them?" Zara felt frustration bubbling inside her. She knew she had to prove herself. But how? Because I care about humans. I want to protect this planet. The room fell silent. Some people looked at her with uncertainty, while others seemed to listen. Alex stepped closer to her, showing his support. Zara is right. We must unite against the true threat. Dividing ourselves will only lead to more chaos. Slowly, murmurs began to spread through the crowd. Zara could feel the tension shifting. Some people were beginning to understand. But just as hope sparked within her, the doors burst open. A group of the aggressive aliens stormed in, their eyes blazing with fury. They had come to deliver a warning of their own. You will submit to us. This world is now ours. The leader shouted, his voice echoing through the hall. Panic erupted. People screamed and scrambled to the exits. Zara's heart raced. She had to protect Alex and the others. Stay together, she shouted, trying to keep everyone calm. Alex grabbed her hand, and together they moved toward the front of the room. The aggressive aliens were blocking the way, their eyes fixed on Zara. You are a traitor. The leader yelled at her. You will pay for choosing humans. Zara felt a wave of fear wash over her, but she stood tall. I am not a traitor. I want peace. You are the ones bringing chaos. The alien leader sneered. You will regret this decision. He raised his hand, and Zara felt the air crackle with energy. She knew they had to act quickly. Alex squeezed her hand tighter. We can't let them take control. We need to fight back. Zara nodded, her determination growing. Yes, we will show them that we stand together. As the aggressive aliens moved closer, Zara felt a surge of energy within her. She focused on the power of her people, the strength of unity. We must protect our home, she yelled, her voice rising above the chaos. In that moment, she saw hope in the eyes of the humans around her. They were not just afraid anymore. They were ready to fight for their home, just as she was. Together, humans and aliens would have to stand against the true threat. But could they overcome the fear and hatred that had been planted so deeply in their hearts? Zara didn't know, but she felt a spark of hope that maybe, just maybe, they could work together to create a better future. Bonding in danger. The chaos in the city hall continued as Zara and Alex faced the aggressive aliens. Fear filled the air, but it was mixed with something else. Determination. The humans had begun to unite, ready to stand against the invaders. Zara felt a rush of hope surge through her. This was their chance to prove that they could work together. We have to defend our home, Alex shouted, rallying the crowd. We won't let them take our lives. The humans responded, their faces set with resolve. Zara could see the fire in their eyes, and she knew that they were ready to fight. As the alien leader moved closer, Zara felt the weight of the situation. She had to protect Alex and the humans, but she also needed to find a way to show the invaders that their violence was not the answer. Suddenly, one of the aggressive aliens lunged toward a nearby human. Without thinking, Zara acted. She jumped in front of the man, using her own body to shield him. No, she shouted, pushing back against the alien. The alien staggered back in surprise, not expecting a response from Zara. You defend them. You are a fool. You don't understand, Zara yelled, her heart racing. Violence will only lead to more violence. We can find peace if you let us. The alien leader laughed, a harsh sound that cut through the noise of the crowd. Peace. Your kind is weak. You cannot stand against us. But Zara felt a strength rising within her. She glanced at Alex, who nodded, encouraging her to keep fighting. We are stronger together. You may think you can take us, but we will not back down, she declared. In that moment, the humans began to rally around her. They shouted in agreement, standing together against the invaders. Zara felt a sense of unity, a bond forming in the face of danger. The alien leader's expression changed from amusement to anger. Foolish humans, you will regret this. He raised his hand, and Zara could feel the energy building again. Just as he prepared to strike, Alex stepped forward, standing shoulder to shoulder with Zara. "We're not afraid of you. We will fight for our home and for each other." Zara felt Alex's confidence strengthen her. She took a deep breath, summoning the power of her people. Together, they would face this threat. "You think you can control us, but you are wrong," she shouted, her voice filled with determination. The alien leader snarled and charged at them, but just as he lunged forward, Zara and Alex instinctively raised their hands. To their surprise, a bright light enveloped them, creating a barrier between them and the alien. The crowd gasped, and the alien leader stumbled back, confusion on his face. "What is this power?" he shouted. Zara realized that their bond, their unity, was creating this strength. She felt the connection with Alex and the humans around her, a force that could not be broken. "This is what happens when we stand together," she declared. The barrier pulsed with energy, and Zara focused on the light, willing it to grow stronger. "We will not let fear divide us. We will show you the strength of our unity." The other humans, inspired by Zara's words, began to chant in support. "Together, together, together." Their voices rang out, echoing through the hall. The power of their unity grew, and the barrier expanded, pushing the aggressive aliens back. The alien leader stumbled, rage filling his eyes. "You think this will protect you? We will crush you." But Zara felt a newfound strength. "You underestimate us," she yelled, her voice steady. "We are more than just our appearances. We are capable of love, compassion, and strength." In that moment, she saw a flicker of doubt in the alien leader's eyes. He had expected them to be weak, to crumble under pressure. But they were rising together, stronger than ever. The energy of the barrier intensified, and Zara felt a rush of power flowing through her. She turned to Alex, their eyes locking in a moment of understanding. "We can do this," she said, her voice low but firm. With a shared resolve, they pushed the barrier forward. The light enveloped the aggressive aliens, forcing them back. The humans cheered, feeling the power of their unity. But the alien leader was not ready to give up. "You cannot defeat us. We will return, stronger than before," he screamed as he retreated, taking his followers with him. As the chaos began to settle, Zara and Alex stood side by side, breathing heavily. The humans around them looked at each other in disbelief. They had stood against a powerful force and emerged victorious. Zara felt a rush of emotions. She was proud of what they had accomplished, but she also knew that this was just the beginning. "We must stay strong," she said, looking around at the faces of her new friends. "We have shown them our strength, but we need to be ready for whatever comes next." Alex nodded, his expression serious. "Together, we can face anything. We just have to remember what we've learned today." Zara smiled, feeling a bond with Alex and the humans that she had never felt before. They had fought together, and in that fight, they had discovered their true strength. As they left the city hall, Zara knew that she was no longer alone. She had friends, allies, and a new understanding of what it meant to be part of something bigger. Together, they would face the challenges ahead, united in their fight for peace and understanding. Changing views. The victory in the city hall sparked a new energy among the humans. People were talking about the strength they had found in unity, and Zara felt proud to be a part of it. But she also knew that their battle was far from over. The aggressive aliens would not just give up. They had to continue to build trust and understanding, not just with each other, but with everyone from both worlds. In the days that followed, Zara and Alex worked hard to bring people together. They organized meetings, workshops, and gatherings to share stories and experiences. Zara spoke about her home on Volterra, describing the lush landscapes and peaceful communities. She wanted the humans to understand that not all aliens were dangerous. One evening, they gathered in the park, under the glow of the setting sun. Families brought food, and children played while adults chatted excitedly. Zara stood on a small platform, looking out at the crowd. Alex stood beside her, ready to support her. "Thank you all for coming," Zara began, her voice steady. "We have faced great danger together, but we have also found strength in one another. I want to share more about my home and my people." The crowd was quiet, listening intently. Zara felt a wave of nervousness wash over her but pushed it aside. She continued, "On Volterra, we value peace and community. We have our challenges, but we work hard to understand one another. I hope to learn from you too." A man in the crowd raised his hand. "But how can we trust your people? What if more aggressive aliens come?" Zara took a deep breath. "I understand your fear. Trust takes time. But I promise I will do everything I can to show you that my people want peace. We are not all the same." Alex jumped in, his eyes shining with hope. "We are stronger together. If we can learn from each other, we can build a better future. We need to show that kindness and understanding are more powerful than fear." Slowly, the crowd began to nod. Zara could see that their hearts were beginning to open. She felt encouraged and continued to share stories of friendship from her home planet. "We have many different species on Volterra, just like you have many cultures here. Each one has its own beauty and strength. We celebrate our differences, and that makes us stronger." As she spoke, Zara noticed a few children drawing pictures of her home, their imaginations running wild. She smiled at them, feeling warmth in her heart. This was a start. After the meeting, many people approached Zara and Alex, eager to learn more. They asked questions about Volterra, the food, the customs, and the daily lives of its inhabitants. Zara felt a growing connection with them. Each conversation chipped away at the wall of fear that had once divided them. But despite the positive atmosphere, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that danger still lurked. The aggressive aliens were still out there, and they wouldn't just disappear. Zara shared her concerns with Alex as they walked home that evening. "What if they return? We need to prepare," she said, her voice filled with worry. "We will," Alex replied, determination in his eyes. "But we have to keep working on trust, too. If we show them we are united, they will see they cannot break us." Zara nodded, grateful for Alex's support. They spent the next few weeks organizing training sessions with the humans, teaching them self-defense and strategies to protect themselves. Zara showed them some skills from her home planet, and they learned quickly. During this time, Zara grew closer to the humans, but she also found herself changing. She began to appreciate the beauty of Earth more. The colors of the sunset, the laughter of children, and the kindness in the faces around her all started to feel like home. One night, as she sat on the rooftop with Alex, watching the stars twinkle overhead, Zara spoke her heart. "I never thought I could feel this way. I came here thinking humans were ugly and untrustworthy, but you have shown me so much more." Alex smiled, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "And you've shown us that not all aliens are bad. You've changed our views too." Zara felt a warm glow of happiness. "I want to show everyone that we can live together. I believe we can change minds, one person at a time." As the days turned into weeks, the atmosphere in the city transformed. People began to embrace their differences and appreciate the unique qualities of one another. They shared meals, celebrated holidays together, and learned from each other's cultures. Zara felt a sense of hope growing stronger every day. But then, one evening, the peaceful atmosphere shattered. As Zara and Alex were setting up for another gathering in the park, they heard loud noises in the distance. The aggressive aliens had returned, and this time, they were angry. "They must have seen our gatherings," Alex exclaimed, his face pale. "They won't want us to unite." Zara's heart raced. They had come so far, and now everything was at risk. She grabbed Alex's hand, determination flooding her veins. "We can't let fear take over again. We must stand together and show them we are not afraid." As the crowd began to panic, Zara stepped forward, raising her voice above the chaos. Everyone, listen. We have faced danger before, and we can do it again. We are stronger together." The humans turned to her, and she saw hope flickering in their eyes. They remembered their strength from before. "Let's show them that we will not be divided," Zora shouted, and the crowd erupted in cheers. They were ready to face the danger head-on, united in their determination. Zara and Alex exchanged a glance, understanding that this was their moment. They would stand together, not just for themselves, but for the future they wanted to create, and no aggressive aliens could take that away from them. Facing the truth. The night was thick with tension as Zara and Alex stood side by side, ready to face the aggressive aliens who had returned to challenge their newfound unity. The park, once filled with laughter and friendship, now felt heavy with fear. Zara's heart raced as she scanned the crowd of humans around her, many of whom looked to her for guidance. "Stay calm," she shouted, trying to keep her voice steady. "We have faced danger before, and we will do it again." The alien leader stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he surveyed the gathering. "You think you can unite against us? You are fools. You are weak." His voice boomed across the park, filled with contempt. Zara felt a shiver run down her spine, but she stood tall. "We are not weak. We are stronger than you think," she shouted back, her voice ringing with confidence. She glanced at Alex, who gave her an encouraging nod. Together, they were ready to show their strength. The alien leader sneered, "You have united for now, but it will not last. Your kind will turn on each other when the time comes." Zara felt a wave of anger wash over her. She knew that the alien leader was trying to sow doubt, but she refused to let fear take hold. "No, we have learned to trust one another. We won't fall apart because of your words." The crowd murmured in agreement, their determination growing. Alex stepped forward beside her. "We stand together, not just as humans or aliens, but as friends. We won't let you divide us." The alien leader seemed taken aback by their unity, but he quickly regained his composure. "You are foolish. This world will belong to us, and you will all bow to our power." Zara could see that fear was creeping back into the faces of the humans. She knew they needed to focus on their bond, and not on the threats. "Listen," she called out, raising her voice to reach everyone. "We have already shown that we can stand together against fear. We will not be divided." As the humans rallied around her, Zara felt the energy in the air shift. They were beginning to remember the strength they had found in one another. Suddenly, the alien leader lunged forward, and a flash of energy surged from his hand. "Enough of this talk. I will show you true power." Before Zara could react, Alex stepped in front of her, shielding her from the blast. The energy struck him, and he staggered back, pain etched across his face. "Alex!" Zara screamed, her heart pounding in her chest. Alex fell to the ground, and the crowd gasped, fear spreading like wildfire. "Get up, Alex. Please," Zara begged, rushing to his side. "I'm okay," he groaned, struggling to his feet. "We have to keep going, Zara. Don't let them win." Zara's heart swelled with admiration for Alex's bravery. She knew they had to push through the pain and fear. "We can't back down now," she yelled, turning to face the alien leader again. "You think you can intimidate us? You are wrong." The alien leader sneered, "You are just delaying the inevitable. Your unity will shatter." Zara could feel anger rising within her, but she also felt the warmth of the humans standing beside her. They were ready to fight, not just for themselves, but for each other. "We won't let you take our hope," she shouted, her voice cutting through the darkness. With that, she reached for the energy she had felt before, calling on the strength of her people and the bond she shared with the humans. The barrier of light began to form around them again, a shield born from their unity. As the barrier glowed brighter, Zara felt the connection between everyone. They were no longer just individuals. They were a team. "Together, we are strong," she cried, and the crowd echoed her words, chanting, "Together, together, together. The alien leader took a step back, his eyes wide with disbelief. "This cannot be," he shouted. "It is," Zara replied, her voice ringing with certainty. "We are not afraid of you, and we will not back down." With a surge of energy, the barrier expanded, pushing the aggressive aliens back. The crowd felt the rush of power, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. They were not just fighting for their lives. They were fighting for a future where they could live together in peace. The alien leader roared in anger, trying to break through the barrier, but it held strong. Zara could feel the warmth of her friends around her, and she knew they would not give in. In a moment of clarity, Zara realized that this was about more than just fighting off an enemy. It was about showing that they could change the narrative. They could prove that love, understanding, and unity were stronger than fear and hatred. "Now is our chance," she yelled, directing her focus toward the alien leader. "This is your last warning. Leave our planet and never return." The alien leader hesitated, his expression shifting from anger to uncertainty. The power of the united humans and aliens before him was undeniable. He stepped back, eyes flicking between Zara and the crowd. "You may have won this battle," he said slowly, "but we will return. This is not over." With a final glare, the alien leader and his followers retreated, their forms fading into the night. The crowd erupted in cheers, relief flooding the air. Zara felt tears of joy fill her eyes as she turned to face Alex. "We did it," she exclaimed, pulling him into a tight embrace. "We stood together." Alex smiled through the pain, his eyes shining with pride. "We really did. And now we have to keep building this trust, keep showing everyone that we can be united." As the celebrations began, Zara looked around at the faces of her friends, both humans and aliens. They had faced the truth of their fears and emerged stronger. She knew that the journey ahead would not be easy, but with their hearts united, they could face anything. This was just the beginning of a new era, and Zara was determined to be a part of it. A new future. The sun rose over the city, casting a warm golden light across the park. Zara stood on the balcony of her new home, watching the bustling streets below. After the victory against the aggressive aliens, everything felt different. The humans and aliens were working together, and the sense of unity was palpable. But Zara knew that the real challenge lay ahead, building a future where they could all live side by side. Zara took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had been chosen to speak at the upcoming Unity Festival, an event meant to celebrate the bonds they had formed and to showcase their shared hopes for the future. This festival would mark a new beginning, but Zara wanted to ensure that it represented everyone, not just the humans or the aliens. She remembered the faces of those who had come to the park, filled with fear before they had found strength in one another. Those moments of doubt and uncertainty had shaped their journey, and she wanted to honor that. Zara spent the morning writing her speech, wanting it to reflect the heart of their community. As the day of the festival approached, excitement filled the air. Banners were hung, food from both cultures was prepared, and music echoed through the streets. Humans and aliens worked side by side, sharing traditions and laughter. Zara felt a sense of pride as she watched them come together. On the day of the festival, the park was transformed. Colorful stalls lined the paths, each one offering a taste of the diverse cultures they had come to embrace. Zara walked through the crowd, greeting people she had grown close to. She spotted Alex, helping to set up a stage for the speeches. "Are you ready for today?" he asked, a grin spreading across his face. Zara nodded, her heart racing. "I think so. I just hope I can convey how important this day is for everyone." "You will. Just speak from your heart. That's all anyone wants to hear." Feeling encouraged, Zara made her way to the stage. As she climbed up the steps, she took a moment to look out over the crowd. Humans and aliens were gathered, chatting, laughing, and sharing food. She could feel the energy of hope and togetherness in the air. Once everyone had gathered, Zara took a deep breath and began. Welcome, everyone. Today, we celebrate our unity and our journey together. We have faced challenges, but we have come out stronger on the other side. The crowd cheered, their voices ringing out in support. Zara continued, not long ago, we were strangers. We were afraid of one another, but we took the first step toward understanding. Together, we have learned that our differences are what make us unique. We have shared our stories, our cultures, and our lives. As she spoke, Zara looked at the faces in the crowd. She saw the smiles, the nods of agreement, and the spark of connection. This festival is not just a celebration of our victory, but a promise for our future. We must continue to build bridges and keep learning from each other. A round of applause broke out, and Zara felt her heart swell with joy. She was not just speaking to humans. She was speaking to a community of friends, allies, and family. Let us remember that unity does not mean uniformity. We can embrace our differences and still stand together. Each of us brings something valuable to this community, and together, we can create a world where everyone belongs. Zara noticed a group of children playing nearby. They were laughing, sharing stories, and making new friends without hesitation. It warmed her heart to see how the next generation was already embracing this new reality. After her speech, Zara stepped down from the stage, and Alex rushed over to her. You were amazing. You really captured what this day is all about. Zara smiled, feeling a wave of relief. Thanks, Alex. It felt good to share our hopes for the future. As the festival continued, people danced, ate, and played games. Zara joined in, feeling the joy surrounding her. She laughed as she tried traditional foods from Alex's culture, and he marveled at the flavors of Volterra dishes she introduced him to. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Zara noticed a group of aliens approaching, their faces serious. Her heart sank as she recognized them. They were from the aggressive faction that had threatened their peace. What are they doing here? Alex asked, his expression tense. Zara took a deep breath. Let's find out. As they approached, Zara could see that the aliens looked uncertain. We came to watch, one of them said, his voice low. We have heard of this festival and wanted to see how you all come together. Zara felt a flicker of hope. You are welcome to join us. There is enough room for everyone here. The aliens exchanged glances, unsure. We are not sure if we belong, another one admitted, their voice shaky. Zara smiled gently. You do belong. It takes courage to join a community, especially one that you have previously been at odds with. But we believe in second chances. We all deserve the opportunity to learn and grow. After a moment, the aliens stepped forward, their expressions softening. The humans around Zara watched with cautious curiosity, but she could see a glimmer of understanding beginning to form. One of the aliens spoke again. We want to change. We see now that power is not the answer. We want to learn from you. A cheer broke out among the crowd. Zara felt tears of joy welling up in her eyes. This was a breakthrough. They had taken a significant step toward healing old wounds. Join us, Zara called, extending her hand toward the newcomers. With hesitant smiles, the aliens accepted her invitation, and soon they were mingling with humans, sharing stories, and learning from one another. The festival was alive with laughter and joy, symbolizing hope and unity. As the sun began to set, casting a beautiful glow over the park, Zara looked around at her friends, old and new. They had created a community built on trust, love, and understanding. The future was bright, and she knew that together they could face any challenge that lay ahead. This was only the beginning, and Zara felt excited to see where their journey would lead them. They had opened the door to a new future, one filled with endless possibilities.